Hello, my name is Claire Bohm, and the gentlemen in my group are Max Campbell and Nathan Hosford. Our topic for discussion in this video will be cultural organization. In our visual, you will see that we have cultural organization defined into 4 subcultures which are located in the middle. They are motivation, control, and surveillance, symbolism, leadership, and technology. We have then further defined the key points we think for each subculture. For motivation, control, and surveillance, we have identities, which is where people see their connection to the organization as an important part of who they are. Objectification, the way people in their societies or organizations act, is the only correct way. Externalization, people notice the ways in which others interpret and respond to their surroundings. Internalization, people begin to evaluate themselves and their actions in terms of the society or organization's assumptions. Self-surveillance, the process in which employees act in ways that are desired by the organization due to internalizing its cores and beliefs. And last, unobtrusive control, awareness of reward and punishment systems and hierarchy control. Next is symbolism. The key points are metaphors, used to describe an entire organization, stories and myths, groups of interconnected symbols that support one another, rituals, informal celebrations that may or may not be officially sanctioned by the organization. Next is leadership. The points are transformation vision, which provides goals that beckon commitment and stimulate productive action, framing, a leader develops his or her own view of reality and makes sense of the organization's past, present, and future. And last, leadership moments, opportunities to suggest a particular way to view events, messages, and communication. Last, we have technology. Information and Communication Technology, or ICT, which create and sustain organizational structure, and ICTs are also used to symbolize and shape cultures. Next, we have Customer Relation Management, or which is CRM, and those are used to create a customer-centered culture. Now, you will hear from Max Campbell.
Thank you, Claire. My name is Max Campbell, and as she mentioned, I'll be discussing the effective communication strategies that are used in a cultural organization. A cultural organization uses both verbal and nonverbal methods of communication. One example of a nonverbal technique that is used can be seen in the way leadership uses their own actions to establish the expectation of their subordinates. By leading with action, the management team is able to develop a pattern of assumptions. This pattern is seen and eventually trickles down throughout the hierarchy of the company. Besides the nonverbal techniques, the leadership team can also communicate in verbal ways. One common technique seen in a cultural organization is the way leadership plays on employees' emotions. They can do this through a number of different ways, from challenging their employees to meet specific goals to encouraging them to self-identify with their organization. Perhaps the most prevalent communication strategy is the constant reinforcement of the organization's goals or visions. An example of this would be when a company restates their company slogan or mission statement at the end of each meeting. The mentality behind this is that by constantly stating something, that thing is given life and eventually becomes a part of the mentality of the organization. As you can see, there are a number of different ways people can communicate in a cultural organization, but most of them revolve around developing a pattern of assumptions. Next will be Nathan, and he's going to speak about the strengths and weaknesses associated with a cultural organization.
Thank you, Max. Some of the strengths and weaknesses of control strategies are control. Some employees strongly identify with their organizations and their identities are relatively stable over time. Some even form a deep acting, which is the actual feeling, emotions demanded by management. Another form of a strength would be unobtrusive control, which is self-surveillance in which employees act in ways that are desired by the organization because they have internalized its core beliefs and values, identify with it, and feel positive emotions when they comply with its demands. Some of the weaknesses that we have when it involves control are employees who are aware of the assumptions that members of their organizations take for granted but do not accept them uncritically. And they can also display surface acting, which is pretending to feel the emotions that they display. Obtrusive control is difficult to administer because employees may interpret them in anticipated ways. I would like to thank my other teammates, Claire and Max. And on an overview, in a cultural organizational strategy, the entire organization is made of self-monitoring subcultures. Each subculture has their own rituals and strategies, but share values and visions with the entire company. Thank you very much.